Hey guys, personal injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video I want to ask you a question. Are you in the Bermuda Triangle of danger in your personal injury case? What do I mean? Okay, here's what you have to understand. There's a power dynamic that exists in injury cases. What do I mean by power dynamic? It means different forces are acting on your case, either up front or behind the scenes. And that power dynamic is something you have to be aware of if you've been injured in an accident and you want to get full compensation for your injuries. In other words, maximum money in minimum time, right? So what do I mean by Bermuda Triangle? Well, let me tell you about a client that gave me a call. Well, they're not my client, or they weren't my client when they called me. So I guess they're not my client. So it's just somebody who saw my YouTube videos, liked them, and had some questions for me. So here's what happened. They had a bad relationship with their lawyer, a bad insurance company, and a bad doctor. That's the triangle, right? So let's start with the insurance company. There are good insurance companies and there are bad insurance companies. Even the good insurance companies will fight you on a case. No question about it, they'll fight you. They will hire experts to say the medical bills are too high. Duh. Everybody knows the medical bills are too high. They'll argue that the medical care wasn't treated properly, or you didn't get the correct care, you got the wrong care, you got unnecessary care. Pardon me. You treated for too long, you took too much time off work, all this stuff, right? The difference between a good insurance company and a bad one is that a bad insurance company will pull out every dirty trick in the book. They will do underhanded, pardon me, they will do underhanded things to win the case. And they will deny claims that will otherwise ought to be paid, right? So what do I mean by that? You know, a very high percentage of my cases settle. You know, I've said in other videos that, like, clients almost never decide to stop working with me, but I sometimes have to let cases go or let clients go if I don't think the client's being honest. That's the number one reason I might let a case go. Or if I'm too busy, pardon me, if I'm too busy in the office, or if I know of an attorney who is a personal friend of mine who has sort of made a specialty for themselves in a particular kind of case, and I'm otherwise very busy, I might refer a case out to an attorney like that, okay? I refer cases out differently than other attorneys. I don't just send the case out and forget about it. I always tell people, I am still your attorney. If you can't reach this other person, or if you have any problems, you call me. Okay, because, you know, I don't believe in starting a relationship with someone and then just abandoning it. You know what I mean? Like, if you hire me to do your case, we're going to have a relationship unless you don't want to have one. That's because I take what I do seriously, and I take getting good results for people very seriously. But end of commercial. With a bad insurance company, they will do every underhanded dirty trick in the book to beat your case. But even a good insurance company is going to contest your case and fight it, right? This brings us to the second category, doctor. You know, I've shot a couple of videos now about the dangers of, in workers' comp cases, treating with a company doctor. Now, sometimes it's okay to do, but you better be cautious about it unless a lawyer tells you it's okay to do. And also the danger of treating with just a general practice doctor, or a doctor who the ER tells you to go to, because the danger there is you might have a doctor who is completely unfamiliar with the injury and accident case system, completely unaware that something they think is innocent or even helpful that they put in the medical records could come back to bite you. I've got a couple of videos about that as well. So choosing a doctor, very important. But what I'm talking about in the Bermuda Triangle of danger here is if you pick the wrong doctor, you can have a doctor who is actively hostile towards you. You could be treating with a doctor who makes his or her money writing reports, defeating other people's injury cases, but they're treating you. And this is what we all know about human beings. You take on the flavor like a noodle, okay? You throw noodles in a pot with chicken broth, the noodle cooks, you taste the noodle, it tastes like chicken broth. You cook noodles in beef broth, you take the noodle out, it tastes like beef broth, right? You cook noodles in a pot of water with sugar, the noodles come out sweet. They absorb the environment they're in. And so this, I think, is the main problem with doctors who do a bunch of defense work. They are marinated in an anti-injured person, every injury case is a scam type mentality. And unconsciously, they bring that to the table when they are treating patients. So as soon as a patient needs a little more therapy after surgery, or a little bit more time off work because they do a physical job, they don't care, right? In their head, they're like, oh, this is malingering. This is, they're faking it, right? So that's the second danger, and it's a big one, because if your treating doctor cuts off your care and is hostile towards you, it's a real problem. No matter who you hire after that, if your treating doctor is willing to go under oath and testify that he doesn't really think you're hurt anymore and that you were dogging it after the surgery, that's not very good, right? That's not very good. Third is the lawyer, right? I have nothing bad to say about lawyers. I think that injury law, lots of people see it, or young lawyers and people getting into it see it as easy money, an easy field to get into. You can make a quick buck. I think there's a lot of lawyers out there who don't really practice in personal injury, but they sign up cases and try and settle them anyway. And they often are not doing a very good job of it, in my opinion. Or at least based on what people have actually called me and told me is going on in their case, right? And sometimes I'm able to take the cases over for them and sometimes I'm not, but I always want to help them. I can't really give somebody else's client legal advice or, help on their case, and I tell them that, but I can talk to them in general terms. Unless, they fire their old lawyer and want to hire me. But usually when people call me, it's a dispute about, like, they're not calling me back. I don't know what's going on with my case. And that's pretty serious. I mean, if you're injured and you're out of work and you've got no money coming in and your lawyer isn't calling you back, it's traumatic, right? You deserve to know what's going on. However, is that something you should fire your lawyer over? I'm not sure. So that's why I probably make at least a dozen to 20 calls a year to lawyers to say, look, please call your client. It sounds like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Please call your client so they stop calling me, right? So anyway, that's how that works. But, if you get an attorney who yells at you, who pushes to settle your case before you're even done with your medical care, I've got other videos where I explain bad things. I tell the stories of people who contacted me about that kind of situations. There's other videos on my channel where I go into detail of, conflict between an attorney and their client, where the attorney certainly appears not to really want the case, not to really want to work on the case. And so that's bad news. So my point is, this guy who called me was literally in the Bermuda Triangle of danger. He had a treating doctor who didn't support him, an attorney who didn't like him, didn't want to have anything to do with him, and it was with a bad insurance company. And if you have those three things, or any combination of those three things, you are in the danger zone on your personal injury case, whether you realize it or not. In some cases, you're going to be too far into the case. You may be done with treatment already, but there are things that can be done to sort of alleviate the damage that a hostile treating doctor is doing to your case There are strategies we use with real crummy insurance companies to make handling the claims against them more efficient and more successful ultimately. And, if you have a bad lawyer, as I've said before, I don't encourage people to switch lawyers. And in fact, I shot a video where I went into detail about when is not a good time or a good reason to fire a lawyer, right? So if you're in one of those time periods, switching lawyers may not be a good idea, right? But I just thought I'd shoot you a video to explain to you that those are probably the three main points in a case that can destroy an otherwise good case. So if you're dealing with that situation, or God forbid you don't have a lawyer, please consider giving me a call at 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. That phone number gets answered anytime, night or day. So you can call me anytime. We pick up the phone, we answer it, and we can assess your situation and figure out what we can do to help. So if you or a loved one needs help, 312-500-4500. In the meantime, I've got great tools on my website that are completely free. One is the Do I Have a Good Case calculator. The other one is the Case Cash calculator, which gives you an idea of what your case settlement value might be in your situation. Both of the calculators are super fast to use. You literally, 10, 15 seconds, you answer a few multiple choice questions and you get a result. No charge, completely free, no obligation, no lawyer to talk to, nobody to talk to. Just free tools on my website that I built to help injured people, so they're there for you. Last thing, if you like the videos, please like this video, give me the thumbs up, subscribe, and if you wouldn't mind giving me a 5-star review on Google, I'd really appreciate it. Personal injury is crowded, and it's a tough business these days, very competitive. I've got a bunch of multi-millionaires spending millions of dollars a year on TV and billboards. So any positive review you can give me, I would appreciate it. 5-star review takes you 5 seconds, invaluable to me. You just cut and paste the URL, visit the page, hit 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit. I'd really appreciate it. So I hope you and your family are well and have a great day. Take care.